Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and first take 3 deep breaths, really deep. I tend to hold them. Do what you can, what you're comfortable with. And let's really focus on bringing that white purification light in, wrapping it around your heart, diffusing out through your chest, into your limbs, your arms, your legs, and your head and neck, out into your auric layers, and so on. So let's go ahead and take those 3 deep breaths. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. And thank you so much for joining me. I have 3 messages of the day, a union read and a twin flame read today. Yesterday was kind of crazy, the energy coming up around the seal being broken. And so I'm hoping some more comes up about that today. I'll show you the picture too that came up yesterday around that. Again, the twin flame read yesterday, literally in the code line, had a seal that was broken, which is very unusual. It's like, a partial letter and another partial letter was coming together to show me that message. And not only that, but in the header was 6, 7, and 8, which is the section that the Revelations comes up under is 6, 7, and 8. And those are the numbers that were in the headline. Plus the 6 and 7 came up further, which I actually talked about, which references the 6th and 7th seal, because the 144,000 comes up between the 6th and 7th, and also the 67 is the Knight of Pentacles, which is the loyal, humble servant. And then going into the 7 trumpets, and I just listened to Cryon talking about the 7 choirs involved with the nodes and the nulls, which are 12 and 12, which also come up in some of my stuff today. The 12 and the 12 is the 24, but that's adding 2 together. When you use the multiplier, the x, it's exponential, as opposed to, it's like saying, a negative plus a negative equals a bigger negative, but a negative times another negative becomes a positive. It's that exponential energy of like to infinity and beyond. And so that energy was coming up too, regarding the 12 by 12, which would then be the 144, and then the 7 choirs that Cryon talks about. So this was all coming into the broken seal that I was getting yesterday, and I hope some more information comes up as I go through these messages. I wasn't getting something specific yesterday, except for when I was falling asleep last night meditating. I was getting the 7 voices and the 12 by 12 related to the nodes and the nulls. And I looked it up this morning just to refresh my memory about the 7 seals, and the trumpeters being the last seal broken. And it comes up with, there's the instead of the 7 choirs, the standard is the 9 choirs and the 7 angels. So it's just kind of interesting the way things were coming up, but we'll see how that plays out. Let's go ahead and look at the pictures here for your reads, and then we're going to get right into the dice and into the reads. This is the union read for today. It's a very beautiful pictorial here. The 4D, 5D, and the 6D, which is the manifestation level. The incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energy of the Ace of Cups, and the closing energy of the 3 of Wands or Flames. This is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the picture that yesterday that came up around the broken seal. So here's the eagle landing, and it's like the masculine eagle and the feminine, transmuting the energies with her voice. That's also the songbird. And here is the golden egg, which is the heart. It's the mother love of the aqua ray around the golden egg, which of course is representative also of the Christ vibration. And then here is the read in front of you, the 7-deck read for the twin flames. They're both general reads for the twin flames, so don't try to force the messages to fit if they don't resonate with you. And then here is the 3 messages. This is the first message, the second message, and the third message. I wasn't planning on doing 3 messages, but I did. There's some energy that came up this morning. Was that upside down? I don't think so. No, that was right. Okay. So I woke up this morning actually in a good place. And then I got kind of sad. I saw Lee and Sherry posted a video, and Sherry's been struggling with liver transplant and trying to get one. And I worked at University of Penn for 25 years, and I dealt with a lot of liver patients, so it hits close to home. And I just definitely was empathing off of their energy. And then dealing with some other paperwork stuff I had to take care of this morning. And dealing with representatives, those calls we never want to make, because these days you can either not understand the language of the representative you're talking about or you're talking to, or they're just negative in general. And if you're lucky, you'll get someone who's really positive and actually helpful. So I had to make a couple of those calls this morning. So it kind of changed my energy after I woke up. So I was then looking back into some of the entry wound energy was coming up again, to really look back to see when I was really young, what was triggering me and relating it back to that age. And the only thing that came up this morning was about when I took ballet when I was 4 or 5 years old. And it brought up that energy of never being good enough, because I was always good at things, but I was never the best. And that was a wound that was coming up from when I was a very little girl, because there was always someone who was much, she was the shining star. I was always good, but I was never the star, as a little girl. And that was in everything I did. Even in the school Olympics was funny, because I was always a good athlete. But we had a school Olympics when I was in elementary school. And I had a choice of choosing between the hop, skip, and jump or the relay race, and I would be the 4th runner. And I loved running fast. I wasn't a big long distance runner when I was young, but I loved to run really fast. And so I chose the relay, because that's the bigger deal of the 4-person relay race and being the 4th runner. And if I had chosen the hop, skip, and jump, I would have won, but I didn't. I chose the relay, which we didn't win. So it's just that energy. I don't know if that relates to any of you guys. If a wound comes up around that, is the reason why I'm bringing it up for you. You might be able to relate to that. Yeah. And the weird energies too. I watched the movie Zodiac, which is a very dark movie about someone who was just killing just for fun. And the psyche behind someone like that. And also how it gets to the people who can't crack the codes, right? They can't break the case. They don't have the evidence to bring the person in that they suspect. And this was a very long movie, because it was a very long case that went on and on and on. So yeah, some dark energies around that kind of stuff was coming up. So the first message of the day, let's go ahead and roll the die first for the twins. And then, of course, an obnoxious message in my comments this morning. If you don't like the video, you don't have to watch it. So I don't feel like I need to say that again. So here is the Capricorn energy from the die. Here is the number 9 of the collective consciousness. It's also the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. But also we're just past the 9 as far as timelines. And then we have Neptune here, which has to do with sudden changes. I'm sorry, not Neptune, Uranus, I meant to say. So Uranus is Aquarius and sudden changes. We have the 9 of the Hermit and Virgo, and then we have Capricorn. That's a very interesting combination. So we have responsibility and restriction and karma regarding Capricorn. And then the 9 of the purification, the end of the cycle, which is also completion. And then sudden changes with Uranus and Aquarius, which is detached. So let's see how that plays out. within this reading, and it's definitely a switch of energy on the die that has been going on this past week. It's definitely a big change, which I definitely felt that today. It's kind of a weird shift. So this first message of the day was at 10:17 to 20 yesterday, last night actually. And this started out with the underlying energy being the dolphin, if you want to associate it to the pictures I showed you. The dolphin, the cross, the page of swords, and the occupation. The friendly dolphins, however, the bat is watching the shark attack the dolphin, or the shark is disguised as the dolphin, so there could be a shapeshifter energy there coming up. The gift of diving deep to discover burdens after a falling out, or dealing with the past or memories of a bad childhood, or dealing with children who are being difficult, conflicted about releasing self from that prison, with the page of swords upright, or a message of marital change along with an occupation, and that can be being very occupied with this as well, or a courtship ending with marriage, with changes perhaps to the occupation, or changes with, or the marriage actually changes things about your life and your occupation at 10:25, which is the Wheel of Fortune and then the Knight of Wands. The friendly dolphin burdened perhaps by the religion of the Page of Swords message of energetic exchange at work perhaps, or that someone will put the pieces together. Someone may be afraid that someone's going to figure it out and crack the codes. And again, that came up in the movie last night. And sometimes the fear of that person who did something wrong, being afraid that someone's going to figure it out, may just be enough to keep them from doing something wrong again, which is some of the energy in the movie last night as well. So confident in looking after things at night, but a child may be sneaking out or running away from an unstable home, perhaps to poverty, or the child it's the child who wants to be in unconditional love. It's like walking away from a family. This also could be an adult walking away from a very comfortable situation into poverty, or just going out on their own without and leaving everything behind. Definitely going towards unconditional love, or the journey of love. The panther is on the prowl, cracking the whip, with the Knight of Pentacles workhorse looking ahead but going back, perhaps to a prison, or something they deem as feeling like prison. Justice of the present moment or gift, the blessing in disguise, and the fleeting inspiration that comes in but doesn't last, in trying to get over humps, standing up for oneself as the official person, and the Empress's journey coming up here. And the Empress is someone in a place of stature, to be revered, right? It's that top position. And how did they get there? Then we have the false person with the vulture here. The vulture looking for inspiration, while the polar bear is sniffing around Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And that could be, it's actually a jackal. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that has to do with hiding, right? And perhaps somebody who's dark, doing dark things and hiding. And then this also could be a doctor-patient energy, or death and embalmment energies coming up. And then surrendering to the false person or false couple in the devil's dance. And this could be the dance of codependency. And then we have the moth to the flame energy of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, drawn to the Queen of Pentacles and the mature woman, which can be someone older and someone younger, or just all kinds. They don't care which one. They're not discriminate, like the killer in the movie last night didn't discriminate. It was all women they like to kill. And then we have, again, here was the dance of the devil, or the dance of codependency, and here's the dance of the lovers, which is the dance of sexuality. Then we have the transformation in taking a gamble or a risk to be strong with the lover, the Knight of Cups in a codependent relationship, and then the zebra with their third eye activated, committed to the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or the treasure, and in despair. The Knight of Wands on their journey. The poverty prison of the official person, with false persons surrendering, or a couple with a mature woman with affection for a man and despair. And that can be the mother as well. So there's the energy of laying in wait with the otter curious, with the mouse. So the otter's curious about the mouse perhaps, and the mouse is with a path to choose, with a community labyrinth, or those layers that need to be peeled back, and the power woman who's not what she seems. So here again is that Empress energy, like maybe she's coming off as the Empress, but maybe she's not really like that at all. The King of Cups is upright here in disconnect or at a distance, post-war with the Queen of Wands. And then there's a privileged lady with sudden wealth on the path with unexpected income. The Gazelle and the Dear One at home with loving lady, dumping emotional attachments or EAs, which can be Elizabeth April. And then the Page of Wands inspired with the Queen of Swords, ghosting or dealing with theft of a gift from work. So somebody might have received a gift from work that was stolen from home, or somebody feels like a gift they deserved at work was stolen from right under their nose, or offering, and this kid doesn't have to be at work, it could be at home as well, but some kind of gift that was stolen to help and offer to help here, but then they stole their ideas. So someone coming in to offer help because they just wanted to get in there to steal ideas or steal a gift or steal something, or your actual psychic gifts. And this was at 10:55, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 55 of the Truth, the Ace of Swords, the Excalibur. So again, I brought up the energy of the seal being broken yesterday, which can be, I always talk about the seal of Divine Feminine. It could be the seal of Divine Feminine broken, regarding letting the masculine in. That could be a shift that's going on right now. But the 7 choirs and the 12 nodes and nulls came up. And again, 12 times 12, or in the X for me is the dance of the 2 twins, right? Each one represents the human, each turning an eighth towards each other in the dance of the X. And that's the 12 by 12, which is the 144. And then the 000 of 1,000 is representative of source energy to the nth degree. So the second message of the day here was at this morning at 9:40 to 43 a.m. The 9 is the Hermit, and then 40 is the Page of Cups through the 3 of Cups. So that's a lot of innocent, loving energy there. And going within. The underlying energy started out with the hyena, the swans, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the journey. The trickster making fun of you, with the zebra and tiger behind them, may have put them up to it. Or they are shaming the hyena for sitting on the fence about that. A gift of luck for 2 as 1, after the rider got over the mountain in the journey of a big challenge. Destined to peaceful travels with the Page of Pentacles, to juggle or perform with the Queen of Wands reversed. So it's that Page of Pentacles just starting out manifesting to want to come together with the Queen of Wands reversed, who may be feeling drained today, or maybe they don't know how they're going to receive them. The great fortune in death, marriage, with a message of concern in changing the journey or changing the mode of transportation. The hyena and the Queen of Wands reversed are coming up as the 2 as 1 swans on a journey. And then the Queen of Wands comes up again, which is the 24, which is also the 7, 8, 9 added together, in that high vibe destiny. And that's the section of DNA, which is referenced as the healing section or the Lemurian section. Then we have the pack with the wolf. The pack leader stunned or neutralized by the polar bear, reaching out to the loving lady in a divorce or broken contract or alternative means to sudden wealth. The devil in justice, the shadow truth and balance. And then the elephant who never forgets, with their eye wide open. The loving lady sends love to the polar bear, and the Queen of Swords reversed with a lot of grief and despair, but also high honors of being present or with gifts, or being present to the Knight of Wands in a 21-gun salute, or perhaps a 3-rifle salute. And then there's a 25-gun salute too, but I forget what that means. but that came up as well. So crossroads here of spiritual maturity and peace, to surrender to adjudication or settle out of court perhaps. And 30 and 30 both came up here, or 30 came up twice, with reunion and vision of 30 and 30 peace, because 30 and 30 is 60, which is the Six of Swords, which is a peaceful place to be. Or this could be someone dealing with two homes as well. I have the curious little guy of the otter watching the two swans in love, both balanced as the fox leaves the spiritual path or spiritual loving lady for puppy love, turning the world upside down and leaving with nothing. A child on their own with 14 and 37, a higher love of patience and compassion, as well as unconditional love of the King of Cups. Two as one swans in puppy love, with new passion to be the lovers, with romantic shadow love, which is referencing as sex. And that came up the other day as the devil energy is coming up as the shadow sexuality, which is the act of sex. And then the lovers is actually the act of the mother's love, the nurturing feminine love. We have and that could be referenced as sensuality as well. The wolf and the elephant at crossroads with the child in love, the mama bear urging the loving lady to be spiritually peaceful, as the fox leaves, perhaps the hen house, looking back, perhaps leaving the country, but she's not watching them look back. You know, as someone looks back right as they walk away from someone they don't really want to walk away from. The fox is looking back, but the woman has her back turned towards them. As the fox turns into the innocent puppy, right, becoming vulnerable, wanting them to take the lead. Divorced or alternative Queen of Swords reversed, and the wounded warrior surrendering to the divine feminine in the 5D world, ignited and inspired by lovers. We have Taurus and Pisces reversed here, perhaps as well as Gemini and Sagittarius. With lots of the dog family here, we have the hyena, the wolf, the fox, and the pup. And even the baby otter feels like it's part of that family too, like the baby. The otter leaves the group of wealth and high honor for love. Cheetah, nightingale, fox, and is the peanut gallery here. The cheetah mesmerized or hypnotized, ready to pounce, or perhaps they're trigger happy. The nightingale singing their song and clearing the air or purifying by the choir, while the fox is sitting pretty, waiting for the dust to settle, not sure if he is actually the fox, a cat, or a dog. And birds of a feather flock together, so he needs to know. The masculine with ears to hear the feminine song, and the camel with two lips but not using them, in a breakthrough of powers, in sailing right over the mountain, or stuck on that mountain without an ocean or emotion, to keep the boat afloat, with the camel nearby, unwilling to part with their water supply, because they're a bit bluesy. The King of Pentacles looks toward the King of Cups, or unconditional love, but then heads back as the King of Cups gets over their loss and regret by focusing on their heart, on the Rainbow Bridge, or the 4D bridge, and the man with thoughts of a woman. And I'm getting again, when a man loves a woman, so that's coming, and the scent of a woman's coming up too. When the man with thoughts of a woman makes him feel like a wealthy man, or worried she has expectations that he is. The camel going through the family tree on break, taking a rest, perhaps with heart concerns, and a change to unity consciousness. The lovers exposed to natural abundance of freedom and change, and a sudden transition at the Y in the road for the wealthy pair, and perhaps a father with concerns. And then the Green Mile was coming up with the lion and the mouse. It was coming up as John Coffey and Mr. Bojangles. And the poison snake and the twin bridges. The Lion King and Mr. Bojangles. The towering inferno and letting sleeping dogs lie. The mouse no longer affected by the lion's roar. The false person, or Leo and Scorpio, inspired by the mouse's unexpected income, or perhaps their magic tricks with a coin. Suddenly driven to the Queen of Cups to be strong and inspired. Remember when John Coffey took to heal the woman at home. suddenly driven to the Queen of Cups to be strong and inspired and make magic or transmute an illness. And this was at 1027, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, that inspiration. So John Coffey and Mr. Bojangles, and remember the prisoner, started to change, become a better man because he met the mouse, right? Because the mouse could do tricks, and he loved the prisoner and made him feel worthy of love. So John Coffey and Mr. Bojangles, each with different ways of curing people. One takes others' pain away and gives it back to the bad person in order for them to learn. And one spontaneously recovers and has talents in which to make unexpected income, which was the mouse, right? Because they were talking about taking him to the circus, right? Or somewhere where he could make money from showing his mouse's tricks. The mouse changed the guilty prisoner, and the falsely accused prisoner healed the mouse, the guard, and the cancer patient, or whatever her illness was, and was okay then to leave this world or this dimension because they felt too much pain, while the guard and the mouse then lived longer, outliving all their loved ones, to find peace with themselves at 1033, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 33 of the Christ vibration, or unity consciousness, as my phone started buzzing at that moment. So the next message of the day was at 11:49 this morning, with the underlying energy being the oyster, which came up before that, because the energy of the bacteria getting in the oyster and making the pearl came up, but it wasn't with the oyster card wasn't in that read. And so here in this next read, the oyster came up as the first card because I'd been thinking that. So we have the oyster, the compass, and the Seven of Cups reversed, and high honor. Clammed up, and again, this is 11:49, which is justice and the Nine of Cups. Clammed up, still cooking the pearl, with direction towards concern of the main male, dumping multiple loads, or perhaps emotional attachments to high honors, or that could be status as well. The otter is very innocent and curious about the stingray who's activating the grid, or the web, while the oyster is keeping to themselves. Time for two as one, the loving man, to find their true north and finally ask for directions. In energetic exchange between estate payments or family loss and the Page of Swords reversed, or negative message, or representative and surrendering to the High Priestess with an open heart in order to help let go of emotional attachments, the gift of home, or gift of a home, and hope for the future, with mature woman in adjudication or doing legal paperwork of high honors, or lack thereof. And again, this could be someone not getting the respect they actually deserve. And that could be in just dealing with phone calls with people who are very rude. And it felt like the crows were speaking outside, and that was at 12:01, which is the Hanging Man and the Magician. So then we have the dragonfly with pulsating hearts, mastering the mind, with the fox looking back from the country, falling short on energy, but perhaps dealing with sudden wealth. Patience and a higher love, with justice as the player hits the jackpot. Remember the term, the advertisement, you can't win unless you play. The crocodile laying in wait for the right time, with spiritual peace and maturity of taking risk and being patient, or playing to win, or expecting to get played the longer you wait. The player and the played, the actor and the show must go on, with or without them, the union of the twin flames. The third pile here is the black egg starting out here, which is the throat chakra of speaking your truth, of the loving lady and the King of Cups. This is a very loving couple here, perhaps a man with concerns, present to or of the gift of the Christ vibe or unity consciousness here. And then the scorpion comes up with their stinger out, aimed at the mama bear, the hermit shedding light on the main male, the shadow magic, or the Scorpio and Virgo energies coming up, and the truth hurts at 12:11, which is the Hanging Man and justice. But again, you have to ask yourself, well, what is the truth, right? Because there's always his truth, her truth, and the truth. Everybody's truth is different. It's connected with their journey and their mission, their connection with their higher self. So even though your truths may be different, it doesn't matter. The other person doesn't have to get your truth for it to be okay. The illusion of the mind with the reptilians laying in wait to pounce, right? Any dark energies are trying to pull your energy down. Remember that. Sitting on the truth, waiting for the right moment to use it on someone. The firefly is short-lived in inspiration over Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the light over the shadow people, or triggering the powers that be in a sudden flash, idea, or invention to implement a plan for the mature man or for him to mature. With strength and courage to be brave in the face of adversity, or facing your fears, or facing those who said you couldn't do it, in order to expand, to be free, and to allow yourself to change. We have the eagle landing here again, with the landing being a burden, being the bald eagle, right? The honor of being the bald eagle, or the saint, or that being the cross to bear, like the position of the emperor, the empress at the Y in the road, needing to make a decision. The twin flames here also coming up, and legal paperwork to take care of, or burden of living in a free country with legal rights. Not that that's all working right now, but you understand my meaning. Atlas with the weight of the world, and the King of Wands, the man of passion, to fight for them. Then we have the zebra with their third eye activated, diving deep to release bad health issues, or sending well wishes to release those who are not feeling well, with new love or exuding love in order to expand or in the pursuit of happiness. The phoenix rising then from the ashes with flowers and gifts, or gifted emperor with community support, with the hermit also and gifts, and the Knight of Cups with backing. And then we have the hummingbird of high vibration, clearing and whispering to the root chakra, or to the phoenix rising, about which door to open. Should be the one with the big love, even if that means going out on their own, or going back to the entry wound. And that's when I went back to the ballet stuff. So the Knight of Wands reversed comes up here, which can be a player energy. It can be someone who's good intentions as well, who just fell short on energy. They couldn't follow through because they ran out of energy. But it also can be someone paralyzed by their passions, unable to function. The Seven of Swords, ghosting here, with the King of Cups upright and the Hermit upright, implementing a plan to make a choice to release themselves from prison, and the Emperor with a new love or self-love here. The Lady in Wait ghosted and concerned if main male is mature, or are they with a father who's legally incompetent or ill, and then leaving the community to their own devices, or leaving them out on their own. So this could be worried about what other obligations they have, like taking care of ill parents, which can be a very costly and time-consuming event to take care of. But also someone in power who then gets ill and can't be in power anymore, then, a business could fall apart, and then all those people are left to their own devices to figure out their life on their own. And that was coming up at 1237, which is the Hangman and the 37 of the King of Cups, which is also wisdom and unconditional love. The wise owl, the elephant, and the octopus are coming up as the wise ancient, and with their thinking cap on. The star, the healer, and the dreamer, cutting out the blocks or the blocker, the blockheads needing to put up boundaries. Left for dead with only Bambi, or dear one, to the rescue. The Empress with the big ring, but the unfair block, or Taurus upright and Libra reversed here, as the privileged lady with unexpected income for the lovers coming together. The sudden event or epiphany destined to cut through the mountain or the obstacle or challenge in order to complete the cycle. A sudden event destined for the world to go through. The betrayal of the Empress upright and the justice reversed, or injustice, or painful ending or ending pain, but the privileged lady with money for the lovers, or from Gemini perhaps, hanging out to find inspiration from the devil and or a sexual connection. Then the wolf and the elk came up together in a public meeting or public park, where the elk is not who they seem, and the wolf now has clarity or new information, but a message of concern. The elk is very uncomfortable with expressing emotions, or of talking about the fact that he's a man thinking of a woman, and the wolf is watching the forest burn down, watching from the fields, those with their masks on. The clarity of the discomfort when emotions arise and you don't deal with them head on. Judgment and innocence of the Emperor making a decision, and the Page of Cups, innocent or inner child. The message of a higher love with an epiphany about a woman. When a man loves a woman. So that's coming up again. And now we get into the union read. So again, today is October 4th, so 10-4, message received, and it's 1:41 on the clock, which is the 1 of the Magician, the 41 of the Ace of Cups. The union read was done at 5:46 yesterday. The 5 is the Hierophant, but it's also change, freedom, and expansion. And I just went into a 5-year, actually. So it's always about excitement and lots of changes and vacations and fun things as well. But any kind of changes can cause challenges as well. So we have this union of 4D, 5D, 6D. And the Ace of Cups was the underlying energy. The Wheel was in the center of the read. And then 3 of Wands was the final card. In an outpouring of love, new love, self-love, spiritual love, destined atom, which is also at home or at home, on the eve of gifts and presents. And then the neutron, proton, and electron came up as the PEN, or proton, electron, and neutron, which is a pen related to the atom, perhaps the masculine writing. And then the word PROELNU I was looking up, which comes up as prolium with NU at the end, which is new. It has lots of other meanings as well. But prolium is all about the battle, the combat, the warrior, the contest, conflict, or strife. And the new being something new or being authentic and naked, to inquire and ask questions when you don't know. It also references the tree and the house and being one, the now moment, the instant, the mouth, the barrier, the nun, the we, the coconut, and Siberia also comes up there. So the energy of exuding love, destined to create that third flame. The incoming divine feminine receiving big love, a big love offer, and offering back love as well in a tidal wave of emotion, like running in place or a wave machine, as opposed to the aqua ocean and swimming in an infinity mug in the green room, still able to leave. It's still open. It's not a closed wave. The Queen of Wands, multitasker, stretching, healing, and crowning, perhaps yawning, and indigo, proposing. The Knight of Cups and the Queen of Wands in the indigo, offering a diamond or diamond light, perhaps, to manifest together. The 4D here is the Ace of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the 8 of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine inspired and ignited, and the Divine Masculine manifesting crystals and lining steps to the door. One second here. Bridging in the 4D with conflict, groups, pursuit of happiness, and the waves of flames in the humid sun. And there could be an Indian summer coming up, I don't know. It's kind of blah today out. The sun hasn't been out all morning, and it looks kind of just very still and kind of dark. The 5D here is the 2 of Cups, the Wheel, and then the Guidance, which is the Hierophant. The Divine Feminine soul tie, partner in the garden. The Divine Masculine guidance from Sphinx and Buddha here. Bridging in divine timing, the atom, and destiny. The 6D is the starseed transition in the Queen of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine with a fresh start, with a download to the crown. The Divine Masculine with the Queen of Pentacles fading away, or perhaps their time, money, or energy is, and bridging in the transition portal, the tunnel vision, the lens, at 6, and that's funny, my brother's name is Len, so at Len's house, that was coming up. 620 is the Lovers and Judgment. The outgoing Divine Masculine at 621, which is then the World or completion, with the Knight of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords, and the 8 of Wands. The Knight of Pentacles proposal to separate or heal in energetic exchange after the storm in the circle of trust, where the minnow is present to the now moment of co-creating that third flame. Remember, the tiny ship that was tossed was the minnow. The Divine Feminine ignited to fire up the Two of Cups in a fresh new start. The Divine Masculine working to align and commit to the Queen of Pentacles. The bridge between them is the flames waving to the hazy sun, destined transition to the other side. Exiting left to receive 7D big download directly to the Divine Feminine crown, as the Divine Feminine has Gemini or Virgo and Aries on their side with the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Wands. The Masculine has Taurus along with the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles on their side, and between them is Libra and Scorpio, and perhaps the timing of such, because we're in Libra going into Scorpio. The overall number was 31, which is the Five of Wands, which can be conflict and battles, but also can be games and fun and expansion and competition and the pursuit of happiness. The horizontal pillars came out to 4 of the Emperor, 2 of the High Priestess, and 25 of the Knight of Wands. The verticals came out to 1 of the Magician, 3 of the Empress, 5 of the Hierophant, 8 of the Strength card, 3 again of the Empress, and then 11 of Justice. The message is coming up as the Emperor with secret or higher self, the Knight of Wands in pursuit of happiness, or the Emperor and the High Priestess psyched to expand. The Magician with the Empress, Taurus, dancing with the Empress, Libra, causing conflict here. And we had 18 wands here. For some reason, I was guided to add up the different elements here. And we had 18 wands, 4 cups, 10 pentacles, 3 swords, and 1 diamond. And the Divine Feminine with 2 aces on their sides, and the 2 of cups, as well as 2 knights and 2 queens in the reed. The Divine Masculine with 2 threes on their side, and Taurus, Queen of Pentacles, perhaps pissing the money away, or it's just fading away, with the Knight of Pentacles working and healing in energetic exchange with their gifts. Then we have the read in front of you, which is the Twin Flame General Read. And I cut the Syrian Starseed deck at 647, which is the Lovers, and the 7 of Cups, which is synchronicities and having lots of options or confusion, but also heaven in your eyes. That could be people out shopping when they see that card, right? At 657 is the Lovers and the 3 of Swords, the heartbreak, separation, or perhaps feeling heart stress as well. And the word Halices came up, which is like Alice's with an H on the front of it. So Hal, Isis comes up here, or 3D Alice's, right, doing the lap dance. And then we have, at 710, I finished clarifying, which is the Chariot and a turn for the better with the Wheel of Fortune. And we had only the Chariot, the only major in the read, and Indigo came up before the read, which is the Magician, in a very young energy. We have 1 sword, 3 wands, 4 pentacles, and 2 cups. The Queen of Pentacles came up in the read as the only main player here. We also have the 9 of Pentacles, or the Sovereign, which can be a daughter as well. And then before the read, we had 2 kings, the King of Swords and King of Wands, and after the read, the Knight of Pentacles, along with the 9 of Swords, which can be someone who's suffering in silence. So the numbers here, we had all 4 fives, guys. That's a whole lot of change, right? Which is completion, 4 fives, which is also 20, which is a decision made, a judgment. And then we had triple ones as well, and double nines, right? So we're more into the new beginning and with major change here, like sudden changes in transition and rebirth. With 20, we had 22 as well of justice, truth, and balance. And 99 is all about compassion and completion and the collective consciousness. 7, 8, 9, 10, begin again, as well as 12 of the Hangman, the 25 of the Knight of Wands, 57 of the 3 of Swords, and 15 of the Devil or the Shadow, and 23 of the King of Wands in a lesser sense, with 35, which is the Wounded Warrior, and 59, which is that 5 of Swords, that energy of war or facing your fears. So the code line here was all about teaching and learning, and the number that came up was 6 from 1 and 5, which is the Magician and the Hierophant. And the messages were coming up like this. There could be the energy of the bad witch, and the Mother also coming up here in alternating currents, icing one off, which I was getting like flipping somebody off, expanding the chariot energy, or in other words, aching learning. And tuition was coming up, which for me was coming up as the cost of aching and learning, right? What does it cost you to go into that negative energy? Also sourcing fidelity, to make without he, acing one, or expanding and contracting with the Five of Wands, which is coming up as fuel for the chariot, or again, the cost of aching and learning, which has to do with painful things. Also the mother's shit coming up, and the air conditioning on too high. One of expanding and contracting with the group, the fuel of the chariot, or what keeps it going. Gas for the car, or fueling a business, or fueling ascension here, teaching and learning, intuition, which is in twit connection, and that's the twin towers of you and I. The Five of Swords reversed was the underlying energy here, which is the end of the war, basically, at 734, which 34 is written that way, 34/7. 7 is the chariot, 34 is the energetic exchange of the Eight of Wands. And beneath that Five of Swords reversed were the King of Swords from the bottom upright, King of Swords reversed, Five of Pentacles and Indigo, and King of Wands and Ace of Cups all upright. And then the King of Swords reversed on top, or excuse me, the Five of Swords reversed on top. The King of Swords reversed can be in negative emotions, perhaps playing the victim, or just being silent, or being verbally abusive, feeling left behind or out in the cold, with Indigo, King of Wands, receiving big love post-war. Post-war of stretching and growing and presenting your truth, to go out of control, or to out of control kids, or about being drained and suffering in silence, or dealing with your sister and stressed in a nightmare. The Queen of Swords upright, speaking at work, not expressing her feelings of brokenness, or about being on the warpath, or about emergencies, or emerging. I'm getting emerging artists. That's an association, but that's coming up as well. Emerging artists. Bleeding out at work with the Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, which they could be trouble together, holding them hostage or having no options. The King of Swords reversed, not talking to the Queen of Cups upright, who's being loving and kind and intuitive. Perhaps the ex is out of options and the Queen of Cups is sending love. The King of Swords reversed, giving up the snake boots and down to 10 channels, or 5 + 5, and roots growing thin. Out in the cold, in exile, opening curtains or closing them, fixing things up, reaping rewards, daydreaming of stepping up to the plate and taking a swing, or spreading the word, or batter up, perhaps baseball or softball league, or deciding how to invest, or what needs to be purchased. What's most important, right? What's first on the list? The unrequited love comes up here, and beneath it, retreat, along with the wounded warrior upright with the Empress reversed, where misery loves company. I'm getting three's company here as well, with family sending him out on an errand, like the errand boy energy, being used to just run out and get whatever they want, and then being silenced, defenseless to being ganged up on, or energies around them, or defenseless to women sucking up to him, using their feminine wiles, especially while the little lizard is watching and they can't be rude to them, or mother silencing child about expensive fruit in front of the father. It's like someone, telling their children not to tell the other parent because they spend a lot of money on this basket of fruit. The mother silencing child about the expensive fruit in front of the father, or no longer, so don't talk about it in front of dad, that kind of energy, or no longer willing to put up with the facade and being silenced, supposedly for the children. Spiritual partnership is 27 with the Ace of Wands, and then pride coming up with number 19, which is the Sun, and inequity, or not sharing, or not being fair, unbalanced and needing to swallow their pride, with being drained or overexposed. The Queen of Swords with light and truth as third party of juggling and twist of fate. The Hermit reversed, coming out or going crazy, and tempted by the Holy Grail at 7:57. Not 7:47, but 7:57. I'm being told to tell. 7 is the Chariot, 57 is the Three of Swords. Off the wall in karmic return engines not pumping due to temptation or idle hands, and wheels spinning. With Leo and Libra and Virgo all reversed here, the underlying energy being disconnect or at a distance and detoxing, and then going forward is frustration, hanging out, lacking faith in post-war judgment, healing and coming clean, or cleaning up the act or space. With the Ten of Cups upright, happy family or happy ending, or being strong and healthy at 802, which is the dance or strength or manifestation of dreams, and the Two of the High Priestess, which can be a secret or psychic abilities as well. Tempted post-growth spurt from frog to prince, with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords message, defenseless or without excuse in spiritual partnership that's unbalanced. At 804, which is the Strength card and the Emperor, and that could be Leo and Aries as well, in the recent past is the Seven of Wands reversed, feeling defenseless, perhaps being ganged up on, or just to the energies, or without an excuse, uncomfortable with soulmate or kids with new information, of the High Priestess, secret or missed opportunity in the never-ending story of the twist of fate with the Devil waving, and the Two of Cups, instant connection, sudden events, epiphanies, and or sexual exchange, with the Magician receiving a big offer from the Wounded Warrior running out of gas, with Pisces, Scorpio upright, and Capricorn, Gemini, or Virgo as well, and Libra reversed here. The foundation being the Eight of Pentacles upright, working to align or to be more creative, with the Hierophant at night, and offering time, money, and effort to an impatient Leo, or kids, or pets, or fallen angel, or Sagittarius reversed, and Leo here. The central energy being the Ace of Wands reversed, being frustrated, not aroused, not humored, and the Six of Wands upright with good news, as the King of Wands is on the journey to the Hermit reversed, perhaps a parent with Alzheimer's or dementia, or just someone over isolating and going to visit them, somebody coming out. The challenge being the Five of Wands, of two flames up to something. Leo or kids out of control, perhaps talking or messaging too much about dumping a load, a burden, or dumping all their responsibilities on the Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, or them dumping all their responsibilities, which sounds more likely. Or a group or family going on strike. Betrayal and or forgiveness of back pain and healing, social distancing, third party, or partiers recovering, dumping multiple loads, or perhaps vomiting, and or emotional attachments, or all must go. So somebody might have been partying and feeling like crap the next day, because this came up multiple times. And then somebody might be getting rid of stuff or needing to sell stuff to get money. And then the Two of Swords reversed, divulging information, or finally got the information out of them, finally, with big love through work, losing patience, or fallen angel, dumping multiple loads while working with justice of letting go to fix, make repairs, or make amends. And the Page of Pentacles reversed, missed opportunity with sealed divine feminine, home or in union, or in the celebration for the Empress reversed. The Queen of Pentacles working until completion, or that's a wrap, as the Emperor reversed may have been abusing their power without an excuse, or perhaps stepping down from power because they can no longer handle the control of a business. Finding a way out to happy family or emotional fulfillment, the Queen of Pentacles is upright, holding their tongue on the journey, putting it out there to the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or perhaps that dream world of heaven on earth, causing a breakdown, a breakup, a break in, out, or through, imbalanced codependencies, with the Knight of Cups reversed, jealousy and fits of rage, the Queen of Pentacles resting on break or in 5D connection with the King of Wands, Wounded Warrior home, in union or on a quest for sovereignty, with the Empress reversed in lack or broken, and the Page of Wands inspired without option by the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or heaven on earth. Soon here is the Nine of Pentacles, the sovereign, happy, but the Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed are connected to the Ten of Cups family, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed is blocking the King of Cups from unconditional love. The Magician post-war with the King of Swords reversed, dumping a load or all their responsibilities on the King of Cups, has had enough. The Twin Flames as the Page of Cups reversed, getting over loss and regret or guilt and shame or the past, and the Page of Cups held hostage by a judgment or announcements or a wake-up call, juggling with the Queen of Cups moving to peace, or this could be the Queen of Cups and Page of Cups going on vacation together, mother and child. They could be siblings as well, or just two water signs. While the King of Pentacles reversed may be freaking out over receiving a big offer of love, or is having an epiphany or sexual exchange as a big offer of love. You deserve love, wedding, the situation involves marriage, and then flirt comes up here as well. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Two of Pentacles, the surrender to all that is, coming clean with the Emperor upright in control about the past and hanging out, grounding and integrating boredom, or an offer of love at 829, which is the dance of being present in the moment, or gifts. Love coming from Justice, Divorce, or Libra's ex, Gemini reversed, or twin. The block being the Chariot reversed, the brokenness due to the war path of the wounded warrior. And intuition, teaching and learning, but even more so communication and individuality. A new life in tackling the boar, perhaps Palm Beach or Amazon woman. The Ten of Cups upright and sudden jealous rage of Scorpio, or missed opportunity, or a child in need of help, money or opportunity. Or Libra to make amends with Seal Divine Feminine, or Pisces is home with Empress reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed is lacking faith, or is a jealous Scorpio, and then foolish Aries, the two of them going their separate ways. Dissatisfied in connection or partnership with the Knight of Swords reversed, or one unhappy alone and the other holding their tongue. The Star dreams, dream girl, healing, or a happy ending with no options, suffering in silence, or sister, hiding at work, the Knight of Pentacles unable to function without speaking their truth, which is about to come out. New love post-war, working to heal loss, guilt, and surrender to all without an excuse, even when frustrated, and challenged by the Five of Wands battle or group competition, the Sovereign without a car or broken down, or refusing to go to the Queen of Pentacles to have a happily ever after. Post-war defenseless, tempted by the Holy Grail, working to align with frustrations or the inability to understand something, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, challenged by the pursuit of happiness, or competition and fighting, or facing conflict. Getting over loss and regret with Sovereign, or being single now, surrendering to stuckness with the Ten of Cups and no options, trying to end the suffering in silence, the nightmare, or the stress at work, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stuck, presenting the truth at 840, which is the dance of the Page of Cups, which is innocent puppy love. So let's pull a couple quick cards from the Animal Spirit deck. Let's see what comes up. Actually, I want to pull from the Ascension deck. I haven't pulled from here for a while for you guys, so I'm pulling from the Ascension deck for this. All right, what is our takeaway from this read? What is the message? What is the message? What do we need to know? All right. We have Commander Ashtar, which really is about Ashtar command. It's not a person. It's according to Elaine Denon and the Pleiadians, it's actually a base. It's not a person. The Commander Ashtar, it can be a group of people as well, but the Commander Ashtar is in charge of the intergalactic fleet, spaceships that patrol and protect this universe. The mothership enters Earth through Machu Picchu and the two-way interdimensional portal that he oversees. Ashtar is connecting with you through this card and inviting you to view the planets, stars, and galaxies with cosmic eyes. Breathe in the subtle energy and wisdom of the stellar world and allow it to affect your chakra system and ignite your consciousness. You are blessed, for this is a card of expanded enlightenment and a call to intergalactic service. The affirmation is, I connect with Commander Ashtar, or Ashtar, to serve the universe. And that could be the Galactic Federation of Worlds as well. So the Galactic Federation is the mothership that floats around, and the Ashtar command is actually based on Jupiter, as far as I understand. We also have the Amethyst Skull here, this is 29, by the way, which is the Knight of Cups, and then 21 is the World. During the golden era of Atlantis, each of the high priests and priestesses of the 12 tribes fashioned a crystal skull that was an advanced computer and programmed it with the knowledge and wisdom held by their tribe, which can reference the 12 nodes and nulls from Cryon. Programmed with the knowledge and wisdom held by their tribe. All the information was placed into the Amethyst Master Skull, which is kept safely in the inner planes. Receiving this card suggests you look for the highest perspective in a situation that presents itself to you. Explore the details, and when you have all the facts, take decisions with wisdom and integrity. The affirmation being, I explore all the information before I take a decision. So don't jump to conclusions, in other words. The bottom of the deck is nature, which is number 3, which is the Empress and Gaia, and that happy-go-lucky energy. The nature kingdom was created from the heart of God. The ninth dimensional master Pan directs the elemental beings that support nature, and Archangel Permliak, an angel of nature, lovingly holds and protects nature as it energizes you, raises your frequency, and purifies and heals you. Your guidance is to honor nature's beauty and life force. If possible, go out into the meadows, forests, mountains, lakes, or rivers, and let nature recharge, balance, and heal you. A love and respect for nature is essential for your ascension and that of the planet. And the affirmation is, I thank, bless, and love the entire nature kingdom. So these 3 cards have basically brought up 3 very important areas that you need to always remember to connect with. That's nature, and then collecting to intergalactic service of those outside of ourselves, not just our Earth, but other planetary beings. And then also the Amethyst Skulls, which brings up the 12 nodes and nulls that Cryon was talking about that I brought up in this read. So there's always some kind of reference to the topics that have been brought up. So it's exploring all of those different areas that I did bring up. And let's see what the journey of love has for you today. Take a deep breath. So there's definitely some kind of completions, which can lead into sudden new beginnings, and also new responsibilities with Capricorn coming up here. Okay, here. What is our takeaway from this read today? All right. Angel of Jupiter Awaken. And there's the number 6 of the Lovers. And in this card, it's hard to see the picture, but it's actually 2 people floating next to each other. And this message always brings up the energy of you can stay in your own lane, because as you go, this will become one lane, and then you'll already be together. You don't need to like merge into each other, because as we go on, these 2 lanes will merge together automatically. And Jupiter is Sagittarius and expansion of the Lovers here, right? As you expand, you will merge automatically. And then we also have the Rings of Time coming up, which is the 44 of grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it. And of course, when we get old and we can't take care of ourselves, we're very dependent on others to give us love. Perhaps when we wouldn't allow them to give us love before, or maybe getting love from someone that you would never have paid any attention to. So there's a couple different perspectives here. And this is also the lovers coming together, perhaps to take care of the old, or those who can't take care of themselves. It can also reference the ancient ones, right, that you are coming into union in the Rings of Time. And the bottom of the deck is Sweet Soul Rising, which is that innocence of the Page of Cups, the 20 of judgment and making decisions in a sweet way, in a kind way, and not being judgmental, and also not making other people's decisions for them. If someone asks you for advice, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're here to make decisions for your life, not for somebody else's life. So allow each person to take their own journey. Even if it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. They may need to go on that path to learn what they need to learn. So again, remember to be sweet and kind and light and airy when making judgment calls or decisions. I'm going to read to you number 6. And it opened right up to 6. Angel of Jupiter, awaken. Beloved, within you there's a magnificence, greatness, and the ability to live bolder, larger, and more exuberantly than you may have ever imagined. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. The angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity, lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small, but must be free. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile? A yes to that offer of adventure? Sharing vulnerability without fear? Taking a step forward into the unknown? Daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, but happens through you, as you? Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You are not being given an opportunity that can you are being given an opportunity that can change your life. Don't hesitate to accept it. If you're acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, more playfulness, and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you're experiencing some havoc in your life or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation that yes, there is change, and yes, you're outgrowing what once was, so you'll be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth. Awake in your arms, I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room, your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. Make sure to drink your water and get your rest, get your joy and your nature outside, and be good to yourselves. And remember, it's all your perspective. So when you get into a negative place, just remember to shift the way you're thinking about something, or change the topic altogether, or take a nap, or meditate. There's lots or take a walk. All of these things can change or shift your energy when you're not in a great place. Okay, guys, take a deep breath. Rise and be love. Bye, guys.